Hey guys, so I had a dream last night and about my past. When I lived here in Chatham, growing up as a kid, I had a buddy. I don't want to give out names, but I had a buddy and we hanged out, smoked pot, and drank beer, partying all the time. Then eventually I moved to Windsor, Vancouver, back to Windsor, and here I am back in Chatham, you know. And so I'm having all these flashbacks of crap. And well, anyway, when I was in Vancouver, he ended up dying, right? He died. And I spiritually hooked up to him a while ago, a couple times. But I never hooked up to him again. But I thought about him since I've been back here. And lo and behold, a lot of stuff happens. Jesus, he got wind of it and decided to hook us up through him, through Christ consciousness, or Christ. And so anyway, here's the story, and it starts from a dream. I thought about him yesterday when I was doing my CE5 out here. Just a quick thought, you know. And then poof, it was gone. That was it. But I ended up spending a whole night dealing with this stuff, and I got some awesome experiences. Very awesome. But they were bad. They were bad. And it started off. I had a dream. I was in a dream. The dream was really bad. And then I woke up, and I'm still there, and I'm with Christ and my dead buddy. And the big thing happened. I had one Christ with me, talking to me. I had another Christ talking to him about, and I love the guy, man. I love him. But I don't know, I just gotta take you there. I'm gonna tell you all about it right now. So this is the dream I had. And this is my experience. So I'm in the dream, and I'm out at some kind of railroad tracks. We used to get high and everything in the railroad tracks, in the box cars in Chatham when I was growing up in high school, and that we'd all go out and party every night, drinking and smoking weed. That's all we did. But you know, it was something to do. It gets boring here. And I was dealing with the ETs back then too. So in the dream, I was in a train in a train car, and he was there, and he's standing in front of me, and he's really, and I'm like talking to him like I used to, like happy dude, like hanging out like buddies, and he's treating me like shit, right? And I think I said I want to make a video about you, like what I'm doing now, explaining this. And he said, no, you're not. You're going to do this, you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and that's what you're going to do. And I thought to myself, I go, what are you, master and commander, you know? What are you, Obama? I'm like, fuck you, you son of a bitch. I go, and that's what I'm thinking. I never said anything back to him. I'm thinking, what? This ain't him. This is not him at all. Not the guy I remembered. And he was really, and so I tried talking to him again, and he started dictating to me what I'm going to do, and he's trying to own me or get me to do what he wanted me to do, which I don't know what it was. Just stupid stuff. But the way it came off, it was really like he was an authoritarian type guy, right? And this is the happy dude that I knew in life. I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, and as I'm talking to him, this girl comes out of nowhere, and she knows him, but she's cute. I mean, like, damn, beautiful cute. And she comes up to me, and she starts doing the same thing to me. And she's and she is ordering me around like I'm their slave, and he's ordering me around like I'm his slave, and she's ordering me around like and she's cantankerous and venom and just fucking vile, just and as she was walking up, she was beautiful, but as soon as she opened her mouth, she was like venom, just nasty. Like Hillary Clinton. I don't know, compare it to that. When the Hillary Clinton you don't see on the news in public, that type. And anyway, just venom and nasty and evil, just rotten. And so I never said anything to her. I didn't know what to do. I'm just standing there with my mouth open going, oh my God, that is coming out of that sweet little thing. That's what I was thinking. And every time I approached them, like I was trying to be friends again, like saying hi or whatever, shooting the shit like we used to and having fun, going playing and doing cool things. It was all, nope, you little bitch, you go over there and do that. You go over there and do this. You go do this for me. You go do that. And then the girl was just venom and cantankerous. Like, I don't even know how to express what I felt. And every time I talked to them, I felt their vileness. I felt the vile. And it really upset my guts. And I closed up because I didn't want to fucking feel it anymore. And then I was there, and then I'm in a street, and there's hundreds of people around, and they're all the same. They're all walking around. Some are doing things, other people are doing things. But every time, and I'd stop and I'd look around, and I'd see people fucking hating on each other. And I'm looking, and I'm like, this is like high school. Like, this is what I remember in high school. Just bitching and gossip and hate and venom on each other and gossiping and just mean, rotten fucking people. But they're all kids. They're and kids and adults just spitting venom at each other. And I couldn't believe it. And I started walking away, and I just wanted to get the hell out of here because I couldn't fucking take it. I couldn't take it. And the more I was there, the worse it got. The more I talked to people, it was nothing nice. Nothing nice. I walk up to them, I go, hey, how you doing? Human to human. Hey, how you doing? And they're like, get away from me, you fucking little piece of shit kid. Like, to me. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, and that's what the whole dream was about. My buddy was like that. And this girl, I don't know who she was, but I know I can see her clearly in my mind right now. And I dreamt about her before, but I don't remember her in real life. So I don't know where she came from, but she's in the dream. And she was the worst. And I'm in this bad place with these people. My buddy thinks he's like Saddam Hussein or some Bush dictator, ordering me around like I'm his bitch, wanting me to go get him things. It freaked me out, man. Anyway, I wake up. And my buddy's standing there beside me with Christ, and Christ is yelling at him. And I'm watching, I'm like, I can't fucking believe this, right? And Christ is yelling at him. And Christ is here. There's another Christ beside me. And I go, get me the hell out of here. First thing I said, I go, Christ, get me the hell out. And he goes, no, you need to see this. And I'm like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to be here. I hate it. And he goes, you got to see it, so watch it. And he goes, you like it here? And I go, no, I hate it. And he goes, well, why did you come here? And I go, I have no idea. I have no idea why I'm here. And he goes, you came here a couple times. And I go, I don't know. And I go, why is that? I go, what's wrong with my buddy? Like, he goes, he was abusive to himself in life when I knew him, when I was hanging out with him. he was abusive to himself. Not others, just to himself. And Christ told me, and I go, well, why is he so fucking rotten? I go, and I'm telling him, he goes, I know, I'm telling him my dream, and he goes, yeah, I know what happened in your dream, I was there. And he goes, he was abusive to himself, and when he died, he goes, it was a suicide. But he didn't know it was a suicide, but it was a suicide. On a different level. I don't know what that means, but whatever. And I go, mean, drugs and alcohol, because that's the only thing I knew about him. And he goes, yeah. He goes, that's part of it. And he followed that road. And I go, well, why is he mad at me? And he goes, he feels you betrayed him. And I go, I betrayed him? And I'm thinking, I didn't betray nothing. I go, I had to move on in my life. I had to deal with the aliens. I had to move to Windsor. And I go, I couldn't think anymore, because that's why I stopped drinking and smoking. And he goes, I know. And I go, and he goes, Chris goes, well, he didn't. He kept going. And he goes, and he thought, and he holds you responsible for his demise. And me? I go, I just stopped hanging out because they wanted to party and I didn't. I was still their friends. I never stopped loving the guy. I never stopped hanging out with him in school. I just couldn't drink and smoke anymore. It was fucking killing me. And I go, he goes, I know. And I go, he goes, and that's where you changed, and he didn't. And he holds you responsible. I'm like, and he has contempt for you and hate. And he goes, he hates you. He goes, he fucking hates you. That's what Jesus said. He goes, he fucking hates you because you left him there. And I go, dude, I go, Jesus, I go, I told him I quit. I can't do this anymore. I'm losing my fucking mind, smoking and drinking every night. And he goes, I know. And he goes, you told him. I go, I did. I told him. And he goes, yep. Yeah. So I go, I'm not guilty. And he goes, no, you're not. He goes, you're good to go. And he goes, well, why are you here? And I go, I don't know. And I to find this out, I guess. And to find out why he hates me so much. And I go, who's the girl? And he didn't say nothing. He didn't say nothing about the girl. He goes, I don't know who the girl was. And I go, she's even worse than him. And he goes, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. He goes, you know where you are? I go, no. I go, in Chatham? And he goes, no. He goes, you're just below the lower astral. And I'm like, he's like, the first level of the lower astral. And I'm like, really? And I'm lower than the lowest I go? And he goes, yep. And he goes, your buddy, because he abused himself to where he ended up to the point he abused himself till he died. He goes, he has to come back here and learn all this. And he has to do, because he committed a crime against God by abusing himself. Crimes against God, something like that. He did bad things against God, his own inner light. And Christ goes, he is here, down here for 16 years. He goes, that's his punishment. He has to live down here in this place for 16 years and think about what he's done in his past life. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm looking at my buddy. And all of a sudden I tune into the other Christ who's talking to my buddy, the guy who hates me, that I was just dreaming about. And and this Christ is telling him about me, about what I did. And fuck the words he was saying about me. He goes, I fucking hate him. He fucking left me all this. And Christ going, oh, and I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out, man. I still am to this day, right now. I'm like It's like the next day. Anyway, and you go, I'm listening to all that, and he's saying what I did, what I accomplished so far in my life, and why I came down here to see him, because I was curious, and I'm with Christ, so I can, right? So I kept coming down here, but Christ was with me the whole time, and I ended up talking to my buddy and finding out he fucking hates my guts. But the last thing I knew about him, when I left to Windsor, Vancouver, he was doing this thing here. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing. I didn't leave him. I just moved on with my life. You know, no bad intent. As far as I'm concerned, he was the same guy when he died. I don't know. We all had this group of people we hanged out with and stuff. Everybody went and did their own thing. It happens in life. I mean, fuck, it happens to everybody, right? Anyway, we ended up talking. Christ ends up telling me, here comes a storm. Jesus. Christ ends up telling me about the level of mental, I don't know the word he used. I can't remember the word. It's mental sickness. He ended up mentioning that mental sickness of, hate, mental sickness, self-abuse, abuse, hate on others, all that in your head, ego shit. How bad is your ego? Well, all them psycho tests they did on me, he said there's levels of badness in your head, of ego badness. And I'm at level 2. Christ figured that out. And I'm at level 2. So it's like 0 out of 10. 0 is good, perfect, like Jesus. My mental right now, he said, is at level 2. But I've worked on myself for fucking 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, right? Meditating, trying to do my thing better. But he goes, you still got problems. And I'm like, yeah. I'm living in reality. Of course I got problems. And he goes, you got to work on that problem. I go, I am. With your help, we'll do it. And he goes, that's why I'm here. And I'm like, cool. And he goes, there's people that are like 10 mental problems, like for fear, hate, rage, violence. That's like, bad dictator people. I don't know. I don't even want to fucking think of that. But he goes, I'm at level 2. And I was higher, but I came down the more I worked on my own mental thoughts, my thought patterns, cleaning them out with Christ and everything. So, and all the psycho tests they did on me determines what level I'm at, I guess. I don't know. And I can't even really think of the bad things I think about. The bad things I think about are killing bad guys that need killing. That's just fantasy. I could do it if it comes down to it, where I had to do it. Bad guys that need killing, I'd kill them. If that's a bad thought, then that's what I need. I can't let that go. I don't know how. Maybe Jesus is going to show me. And that's about the only one I can think of. Like, I don't... Maybe sex, something in there. I like sex. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what the other one is. I know that's the only... When I'm on the YouTube and I'm watching little kids getting chopped up and beaten and raped and sold to rich people, all I want is a sniper rifle. But I won't do it in reality because I know I can't fucking do it. I can't. I mean, I could do it. If it was my kid, oh yeah, I clean house. Anybody that looked at me wrong until I got my kid back, I go into that gangland and just fucking start shooting until everybody was dead. But that's that. That's personal, man. That's where you're personal. But I ain't gonna do it just for the shitload, just for the shit of doing it. You know. Sometimes I think about that. But that's about the only bad thing I could do. And is that bad? I don't know. See, it's all about in the moment or not in the moment. Christ says, I can only report abusive people from what I experience. I can't report abusive people off the news and computer. That don't work. I can only report it from my own experience in daily life. So if I see my friend beating up his girlfriend, I can report it and he'll get fucking demoted by Christ, I guess, whatever. But I can't do it for people now that I'm in the light. That's some kind of rule I guess they got. But anyway, back to my buddy. Jesus, he was hating on me really bad. He still hates me down here in the lower astral. Below the lower astral, like the baseline of astral planes, he's one below that. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know he hated me, man, until I got to see it. And then another thing, Christ, I'm like, I want to get the hell out of here, and I couldn't go. He goes, it's up to you to go. And he goes, you came here by yourself down here in the lower astral. And he goes, you came here like 4 times since you moved to Chatham. And he goes, why? And I go, I don't know. I go, maybe I'm dealing with something. I want to know something. He goes, yeah. And I'm like, you know, don't you? And he goes, of course I do. But I want you to figure it out. And I go, well. And so I told him, I go, I'm having flashbacks from when I was a kid. And I'd be walking down the street, and then these 2 big tough guys would come and beat me up, right? Because I'm walking at them. And I'm not allowed to be on the sidewalk with the tough guys, so they'd push me off into the grass, right? They push me off into the grass, and I get my ass kicked, right? Because I tell them to fuck off or something. And then they beat me up. That happened all the time, like every day. Then school, same shit. And it was always that cantankerous, I hate you feeling. Okay? And that's what I grew up in. Everywhere I went. Not everybody, but school, public, you're walking, you're playing with your buddies, you're playing hockey, some big tough guys come over and steal your hockey sticks, steal your money. That's what they do. That's Chatham. That's what goes on here. So, I grew up with that. And that's what I'm dealing with. And what triggered it was, I was out doing CE5s right here, and I started walking home about this time yesterday. I'm walking, and there's this 15-year-old kid, 13 to 15, something like that. And he had headphones in. And we're walking, and I'm on the left-hand sidewalk, and he's on the right-hand sidewalk. And he's walking right at me, and he's staring at me like he's going to kick my ass, right? And I want to greet him like, hey, how you doing? It's all good. But he's looking at me like he's going to fucking stab me in the throat. I'm like he actually got in my face walking down. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And because he was doing that, I wanted to fight. I wanted to just punch him right in the fucking face. And that's what I usually would do, end up getting in a fight when I was growing up. But now I'm like, I can't beat up a little 15-year-old. He could stab me and I still wouldn't fucking fight him. I may push him away or punch him in the head once or twice and call the cops. But back in the day, we would have been fighting. So what I'm trying to say is, that night I had the dream about that. All that in my past, all that I'm re-experiencing here by moving back to Chatham. So I'm reliving this problem I had from back then. And I go, is that the, and he goes, Christ said, yeah, that's it right there. And he goes, that was a perfect example. You were walking home, a little teenager kid was getting in your face because you were passing him on the sidewalk. And I'm like, yeah. And because he was cantankerous and pissy and gave me a fucking look like I was a piece of shit, and he actually hit me, bumped my shoulder, like, what are you going to do about it? And he had me that fucking attitude. And I'm like, I go, Christ, I wanted to punch him right in the face. I wanted to knock his fucking teeth out. And he goes, I know. And I go, do you know how to get rid of this? And he goes, yeah, I'll show you and I'll teach you and you'll get over it. And I'm like, cool, because I don't know anything else to do except leave, swallow it and run. I go, I swallow it and walk away and totally ignore it. But it bugs me for days. I can't get it out of my fucking head. That episode with that kid. But this is like other people. And that drives me nuts. And then that leads to the fight all the time. If that person, if that kid was older, my age, and he turned around and fucking said something to me, we would have been fucking fighting. But I don't want to fight. I don't even want to be with them people. I don't even want to see it. I go, how come I see it? I asked Christ, I go, how come I see the kid look at me like that? And I don't know this kid from nothing. First time in my life I ever met him. The kid's looking at me like I'm a piece of shit and he wants to stab me in the throat. And I'm like, why? And I go, then I want to punch him in the face. Why is that? And he goes, oh, you're in for surprises. And I'm like, he goes, you're in for some surprises. And I go, how do I deal with that? And I go, that's how I dealt with it. I go, take it to the next step and we'll see what happens. And the next step is violence. And I go, that's the way I always lived. They can look at me and I want to punch them and I want to fight them, but oh, fuck. I go, how do I break out of that? But I don't. But if the guy turns around and starts pushing me and punching me, oh fuck, it's on, right? And I got that's self-fucking defense right there. It's all a war. I'm not going to pick up a knife or a gun or a fucking twig or something and crack him in the head. I'm just going to knock his teeth out with my fist. Whatever. But this is the problem I have. Cray said, yep, it's on. We're going to heal you up. And I'll go. He goes, I'll walk you right through it. And he goes, I've been there. He goes, I've been there too. And he goes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I go, yeah, well, you got to teach me this, man, because this isn't a psyop on my head for you. Because this is all I do in Chatham. Every fucking where I go. Even Windsor. People at the porch. People on the porch. I'll be walking down the street. People on the porch. Fucking throwing things at me. Calling me names. Oh, I just want to fight. I don't want to fight. But I just want to fight. So, I don't know. So this is my experience last night. And Cray said, well, let me get this in here. He said, I am going to blow your mind with what you achieved in this lifetime, what you accomplished in this lifetime. When you come here and you review what you did in this lifetime, it's going to blow your mind. He goes, you wait and see. It's going to blow your mind. So all the good things and UFOs and ghosts and Christ and everything. Wow, eh? Okay.